Imagine yourself alone in a large metropolis, on a dark path, with only the flame of your faith to light the way. How would you keep that light burning? Listen to the powerful message that Titus will deliver to you in the following message. It can transform your journey.
Although alone, continue the walk. If everyone abandons you, proceed on your journey. If the darkness grows around you, all the more reason for you to keep the tiny flame of your faith alight. Do not let your light go out, so that you yourself do not remain in darkness. Illuminate, with your light, the darkness that surrounds you. Of course, we can find this inner light amidst the chaos of a city of shadows. Find out how. Next, Apollos has an inspiring story to share with you.
In the vastness of a pulsating metropolis, where artificial lights competed with the moon itself, Samuel walked like a traveler lost amidst the concrete and the noise. His reflection in the glass of the buildings was no more than a tired silhouette, a solitary figure that dissolved into the hurried crowd. The weight of routine crushed his shoulders, and the uncertainty about the future was a constant shadow, hovering over him like a thick fog. Work, once a dream, had become a battlefield. In his company, competition was fierce, and colleagues, obsessed with goals and recognition, barely noticed his presence. Success was measured in figures, and empathy, a rare and forgotten currency. At home, the silence became deafening. The distance from family, the indifference of friends immersed in their own lives, all contributed to his isolation. Samuel felt like an island surrounded by an ocean of loneliness. It was on any given night, while rummaging through drawers in search of nothing, that he found an envelope yellowed by time. The sender was his grandfather, a man of unwavering faith, who had passed away many years before. With trembling hands, Samuel opened the letter and, upon reading it, felt as if a flame ignited within him. My dear Samuel, never allow the darkness around you to extinguish the light that exists within you. Faith is like a lamp in the midst of a storm. No matter how strong the wind, it will always find a way to shine. Those words seeped into his soul like a ray of sunlight piercing through dense clouds. Something within him awoke. He realized that he could no longer allow life to swallow him. He decided, then, to act. Small gestures were his first step, greeting strangers with a sincere smile, helping an overburdened colleague, praising someone's effort. At first, it seemed like little. But with each gesture, Samuel perceived that the light within him strengthened. One day, while helping an elderly woman cross the street, he felt something unexpected. The woman held his hand firmly and with shining eyes whispered, "God bless you, my son." It was as if a lighthouse had been lit in the middle of the night. That moment confirmed what he was already beginning to understand. His light, however small, could illuminate someone's life. The loneliness that had once consumed him began to dissipate. The people around him began to notice him differently. His colleagues, once indifferent, began to seek him out for conversation. His friends, once distant, reappeared. Samuel had transformed into a source of inspiration. But how to keep that light burning? How to ensure that hope was not just a fleeting glimmer? It was then that he met Titus, a man of unwavering faith, who became his spiritual mentor. In a conversation marked by simplicity and depth, Titus shared a powerful revelation. Samuel, faith is not just believing in something invisible. Faith is acting according to that belief. It is a muscle that strengthens with the exercise of goodness, compassion, and hope. Those words became his new north. He understood that faith was not a shield against difficulties, but a compass in the midst of the storm. Faith did not mean the absence of doubts, but rather the courage to move forward, even when everything seemed uncertain. Over time, his life transformed. The man who once wandered aimlessly through the city streets became a beacon of hope for others. In his company, he became known not for the coldness of numbers, but for his warm humanity. He began organizing meetings to encourage the well-being of colleagues. He created a social project to help young people in vulnerable situations. His faith, once a fragile spark, now burned like an incandescent flame. The city around him was still the same. The subway was still crowded, the skyscrapers still cast immense shadows, and the race for success was still fierce. But within Samuel, something had changed forever. He had found his light. Samuel's story reminds us that, even in the darkest cities, the light of faith can shine intensely. And that often, transformation begins with a simple gesture, a word of hope, or a hand extended at the right moment. For in the end, true light does not come from outside. It already exists within us, waiting only for a breath of faith to illuminate the world. And so, Samuel understood that the light he carried was not just for himself, but for everyone around him. He didn't need to change the whole world, it was enough to illuminate a small corner of it. With every gesture of kindness, every word of encouragement, and every act of faith, Samuel became a living reflection of the hope he had once almost lost. And in the end, he discovered that by spreading light, his own darkness dissipated forever. His faith, once a small flame, now shone brightly, guiding him and others toward a brighter future. But how did Samuel manage to keep his faith burning? Listen to what Titus has to say about the strength of the word of the Lord. Discover the surprising revelation that changed his life forever.
Amidst the challenges and pressures of life, have certainty in what sustains you. Yes, we have the constant support of God. He is with us, giving the blessing of light for every step, in every direction, and at every moment. He is also giving us light to illuminate our surroundings. Today, I want to share with you 3 passages from the Bible that remind us of these powerful truths. Passage 1, Matthew chapter 5 verses 14 and 16. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Just one like Samuel, we are called to be the light of the world, illuminating the path with examples for others with our lights of faith. We must be fully aware that this light we receive is thanks to what is stated in passage 2 that we find in Psalms chapter 119 verse 105, which says, "Your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path." Samuel's faith, nourished by the word of God, was the lamp that illuminated his path, even in the darkest moments. It was when he discovered that the more he focused on his faith, the more light he received. We know the great value that God communicates to us about the light of faith, and in passage 3, I will cite 2 Corinthians, chapter 4 verse 6. For God, who said, "Let light shine out of darkness," made his light shine in our hearts to give us the light of the knowledge of God's glory displayed in the face of Christ. Samuel's light of faith, even in the midst of darkness, reflected the glory of God and illuminated the way for others. Have you ever felt alone, dejected, and with a feeling of powerlessness at some point in your life? How can the divine presence transform your reality? Listen next to Apollos' final reflection, and you will feel what incredible paths may present themselves on your journey.
Samuel's story reminds us that, even in the darkest moments, we can find strength in faith and goodness. We live in a world where the incessant pursuit of success and acceptance often leaves us lonely, even when surrounded by people. The pulsating city, with its artificial lights and incessant noises, reflects the lives of many of us who, despite the constant movement, feel the weight of loneliness. Samuel, when faced with loneliness and uncertainty about the future, found a key to his transformation: faith. This faith was not an escape from difficulties, but the confidence that, even in the midst of darkness, there was a light capable of guiding his steps. He discovered that true light does not come from external sources, but from within, from the unwavering belief that the Lord would give light to his actions, however small they might be, and that they could make a difference in the lives of other people. By beginning to practice kindness, like a smile to a stranger or a gesture of help to someone in need, Samuel found a greater purpose. He realized that true strength lay in his ability to act with empathy, to offer others what he also sought: connection, understanding, and support. As he spread this light around him, loneliness dissipated, and life began to transform. This story teaches us that faith does not need to be a large or imposing flame. Often, it is the small, but constant light that illuminates our path and that of others. True faith is what impels us to act with kindness and compassion, regardless of external circumstances. When we manage to be light for others, we also end up illuminating our own paths. Loneliness, then, ceases to be a burden and transforms into an opportunity for growth and connection. We would greatly appreciate it if you could take a moment to like this video. It may seem like a small action, but it encourages us to continue offering good messages and thoughts. If you find what we share useful, leave us your comment and interests so that we can assist you in future videos. We will continue to converse and improve here. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss our future reflections. Your comments also mean a lot to us. Be sure to see the description of this video. When there are any, that's where we will leave notices and additional reading for you. We are grateful to be here. If the search for answers or new perspectives moves you, we have more to share. The content on the end screen is ready to complement what you just watched. We immensely appreciate your company and interest.